This is Bronzel and someone I match, but yeah, I kind of told a few people I was planning on doing this, and yeah, I have some stuff that I need to get off my chest. An excellent friend, and I do consider a friend. Not sure if she'll call me one after this, but a good person. Both. I've been arguing this with myself, how to explain this for days, and I'm still getting clogged up. Let me explain what I am so people understand where I'm coming from. I'm a libertarian. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. I fight for liberty, both on the left and right. If someone makes a point on, oh, I would like this, and it makes sense, I'll probably back them up. I'll also take views from all six sides from America, and if it makes sense, yeah, I'll go for it. If I think it's stupid, then lo and behold, I'm gonna call it stupid because it's stupid. Oh, great! Plague ducks just showed up. Wonderful. But yeah, this is Halloween duck. Oh, this is the Halloween event for the plastic duck things. This thing's a vamp, as you can easily see. But yeah. Uh, where was I? I'm autistic. I miss so many social cues, but I do my best to compensate. For a certain tank girl, she is a very good person. But I needed to leave long enough so I can explain it to everyone in a way that makes sense to everyone. Because both sides are facing something similar, unfortunately. Before I get into this and piss people off when they jump to conclusions, let me articulate something for everyone. My the perfect world, everyone would be able to live their own lives, wouldn't have to pay too much in taxes, everyone could afford their own home, have a dependable car that is within reason, as in you don't have to save up for years for a used one that craps out in a week. Games are cheaper than this, and people will just be more reasonable in pricing. Of course, no wars. Israel will be allowed to live their own lives, as well as everyone who just wanted some space. They would just be allowed to be. Maybe not helped all the time, but still allowed to be. No group would be trying to stomp out another. No ethnicities would be bickering. No one would be at each other's throats, because, y'all, don't you think we have enough common sense to be able to use our words?
And in Darlington, Virginia, here's one 600 feet high. Radio waves over ocean waves.
Coming right back to my place.
Tonight we are to welcome a man who, although no giant, has nevertheless made a huge impression in his chosen field. Ladies and gentlemen,
I have no idea why I switched. But, yeah, it's not that big of a wish. That's what everyone should be wishing for. Okay. How did we get to here? Again, I'm very bad with social cues. But I also know patterns. And over a decade ago, I noticed, that's weird. The big media companies are all talking crap about one side. Constantly. Wait a tick. And I would watch and count mentally. Da-da, 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 da-da. Last hour, they talk nothing but bad stuff about one side and only good stuff about the other. Over several weeks, oh, fuck. Please know I'm autistic. So I had to learn how to pick up tricks being played on me and others. And one of the things I figured out quickest was people will make decisions based on what they know. But if you hammer the same information from a quote reliable source, like what the media should be, over months, years, or decades, yeah, their opinions will change. And no, this isn't just, oh, the left fucked up. No. Unfortunately for those on the right, like us, and I do lean right, we are being played too. Pay attention to what people you watch say. Keep count. Most those on the right side news, well, not any one group, but in general, they're doing the same thing to us. We are just so incensed about the same trick being played on us on the left side that we haven't noticed the dagger hovering above us from behind. Both sides need to stop, talk to trusted friends from the other side, and compare notes. Yeah, I have no idea why that just happened again. But, yeah. But, just lost my train of thought. The fuck? Oh. Back to Vamp. But, yeah, both sides need to stop talking to each other, because that's the only way you can ground yourself and not continue to be at the whims of whoever's talking to you. Okay. Am I fine with everything? No. No one group is flawless. I agree with what MAGA stands for. What it's always doing. Making America great again. Things cheaper. Everyone can have their home. No one's wishing you dead because they disagree with you. Just being able to live your life as you see fit. Something the founders would have wanted for us. Is that really so hard? You say no. But I feel horrible for the trans community because they are the ones being played the worst. What do I mean? There are many really good trans individuals out there, and they deserve to live their lives in peace. They really do. I would love if better medicines were found for them so it would be an easier transition and they wouldn't need as much over time. But, fortunately for them, there's also been a horrible decision. The community as a whole refuses to make sure those are coming in are in fact just trans. There's no system in place to keep out predators and pedophiles. None. The reason why so many on the right don't like them is because, lo and behold, there are those in that community who are pulling the worst stuff and getting everyone pissed at them as a whole. I know of one story where a grandma and a grandkid went to something like Planet Fitness, one of those gentlemen free zones. Went into the women's bathroom so they can change, so they can go to a pool that was there, and came face to, well, they saw someone that had the body hair of somewhere between Santa Claus and a polar bear, and they were shaving downstairs, and the person claimed to be trans, even though they almost certainly had nothing to become more presentable before bearing out whoever walked in. Does it mean every trans person would? No. The Tinker herself would probably beat the person senseless for daring to do that. She is my gold standard of what a good transgender person is. But that's part of the problem. So many do not go, wait, oh, should we be doing this? Yeah, y'all deserve to live your lives. But the moment others start suffering, yeah, you'll have to say, okay, is this what we want to be remembered for? And I'm pretty sure most wouldn't. Heck, this is just coming from me when I say this. If I had a wife and kid, and we had to go to a bathroom I wasn't sure about, or hadn't made sure it was clear before, I would literally ask the tank girl to go in there first, or at least with them. So if someone tried something, I'm pretty sure she would beat the ever living crap out of anyone that tried. And then me and others would bail her out of jail. She is a good person, trust me. And I understand why she has the views she does. It's not just the media that has lied to everyone. To understand her, I have to explain a little bit. Her biological father is a massive egotistical asshole who should be sterilized in very painful manners. Yeah, he's a Christian, but I have a feeling that they have a lot of explaining to do when they get upstairs. Why? We are told that every child is a blessing from God, and it's our responsibility to make sure they are safe. So beating your child up because they said something you didn't like, to the point where they spent their birthday in the hospital on life support. Yeah, you're the asshole, dude. But can I understand why? I comprehend why. The tank girl, who is trans, so do the math in your head, they were the first offspring in that generation, from what I understand. And as a man, your duty is to make sure you have male offspring so your family name can continue to the next generation. He had 2 kids, but because so many in his family is having issues, I think was what I was once told, the amount of weight on him to make sure that he had multiple viable kids can't be understated. Do you understand why he did what he did? Yeah, he wanted to do his clan justice and make sure he had enough children going forward so they weren't in danger anymore. But that does not excuse him for what he did to his own child. He will be held accountable one day. Either in this life, which I think just got paid, or the next one, which is going to be very bad for them, for the parent that is. Okay, then how do I feel about the trans community in general? They deserve to be allowed to live their lives. Not all of them are dangerous. In fact, most of the good ones that we all want to that should be protected would never do some of the things we've heard. They would probably stand with us against them. Was a model of hers. She has seen some garbage. Fortunately, she assumes it's all from right-wingers, or at least those pretending to be. Both sides need to realize, just because someone claims to be a group that you're not fond of, doesn't mean that individual is also bad. Both sides used to be able to get along. Maybe not like each other, but could get along. Heck, there was no real loyalty to the party. It was the party better do what we tell them to, or we'll just vote for someone else. Yeah, the entire vote blue no matter who, or if a Republican does something, oh, we have to vote for every Republican down the list. It's fucking stupid. It's partially why we're failing. But do I understand why the fire goddess, I'm trying not to use her handle in case someone's looking for them. The reason why she does have somewhat of a point. You have to understand that. But one thing that I once had to do is I would observe how people handled or just doing things because I would stop bullies from picking on others without fighting. Because I would psychological warfare, figuring out what they were weak to and figuring out what to do. The tank girl's biggest weakness is she absolutely hates conservatives. I could easily use that against them. Easily at this point. Just convince them enough and prod them enough that she would go do something against a conservative or right winger and then just let the police know. Boom. Do I want that for her? No, she is a good person. She has some issues, but she is a good person. She doesn't deserve that kind of fate. Okay, then. Here's her problem, though. She thinks she got rid of her hatred for her father. As someone who did have some psychological training, she should realize by now, no, she didn't get rid of that hatred. She just moved it. It was on her father. She moved it to conservatives, Republicans, and libertarians in general. That has left her open to losing a lot of groups. It's why her community is slowly shrinking, because when you choose half the population of the planet, of the US, to hate and drive off, yeah, you're gonna lose cash, and she deserves better than that. And right now she's probably very upset at me for saying that. But let me continue. My problem with the trans community itself, besides them not doing enough checks to make sure there's no one getting into that shouldn't be, is that they have done some foolish things. They first convince newcomers, oh, your family will understand, come with us, we will be your friends. And if they realize that they're not actually trans and tries to undo the changes, they are being driven off without anyone there to help. And that will come back to haunt them one day. If it hasn't already. Do I want that? No. They are good people at their core, just highly confused, unfortunately. Most of their choices will come back to haunt them. I hope they can survive. Fortunately, I see some of the very thing I'm fearful of coming back to haunt them. When a parent says their infant, or even the baby they're carrying in their womb, is trans, I'm like, oh, you're that kind of person. Trans isn't really I was born in the wrong body, I feel much more comfortable as this, not that. Please just respect my pronouns and I'll leave you be. They have made it a popular thing. And as all popular things, it will slowly fall out of fashion and something else will take its place. I am fearful of that because when that eventually happens, I am scared. Because, lo and behold, some people will have horrible side effects from it. I've seen one video where a former transgender individual who was born a woman transitioned to a man and had a double mastectomy, and then transitioned back, was crying feeding their newborn from a bottle. They were crying because they had lopped off both breasts and couldn't breastfeed their child anymore. That's tragic. No one warns them that possibility. They are a group set up to fail. Too many of them are too good to deserve that fate. And when it starts to deflate, it'll shrink rapidly. And I'm scared for them. First, it'll just be, oh no, we're not that. We're this over here now. First, the Klingons just trying to do what was Trinity will leave. And then the questions will eventually start. Are you sure you're trans? Not that over there? Oh yeah, you're right. Maybe I wasn't. The more and more loosely connected individuals will leave more and more. Eventually, the ones who did, in fact, choose for good reasons will be forced. Okay, you better stop pretending or else. I am fearful for them. They are good people. Really, some of them are. I've met so many good transgender people on the Tank Girls server. Coffee Cup, Fjord herself, Miss Janet. So many of them are wonderful people that I'm honored to have known. Not sure if they want me back after this, but if I had my choice, they would be allowed to live their lives as they see fit. Like I am in favor of more medical research being conducted to come up with better transition processes that can be reversed if they choose. Speaking of choosing, another big problem for them is they cut off those who do detransition and pretend like they never existed. You lose your birth family and then you lose your chosen family. Of course it's gonna eventually backfire. Oh, please, for your own sakes, find a solution before it's too late for your community. I might not agree with all your choices, but I want y'all to be safe and happy. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness was one of the only guarantees in the Constitution. I want y'all to live a long, full, happy life. Please. Please fix the community before it's too late to fix. Another thing the political left really needs to learn is the Conservative Party aren't evil. They mistake the American right with a community from Europe. The Conservative Party from Europe, or wherever they choose to call themselves. You misunderstand so much. The reason why Conservatives are a major group here and less so over there, whatever the parties are called. It's, how should I put this? What they choose to try and conserve. What they choose to try and conserve is what the founding fathers wanted for us. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. They remember the past, try to bring back the best possible future for all of us. Are they always successful? No. Do they gain their own way? A lot. But lo and behold, they are a valid point, and you can take some of their ideas and run with it. Just like me on the right, run with the concept of I might not agree with all that you have to say, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it. Something the Democrats have abandoned, unfortunately. Wait, what do I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Kirk. Y'all have so screwed up. He is the example of why y'all are going insane. Y'all once believed in that very concept I mentioned. I may not agree with what you have to say, but fight you to the death if you're right to say it. And because he dared to speak at a college campus, trying to explain his views to others so that they would understand his views, someone assassinated him. Y'all should be just as outraged as the right. But y'all cheered. Look at yourselves, please. Oh, is the right always correct? Fuck no. One of the reasons why no one in previous generations wanted political violence is very simple. Because if we dared do it to the one side, it'll eventually come back around and hit us again. Said we will be the ones being knocked off. Okay, then why has the left become so lost? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Karl Marx is why. They do believe that Marxism, either communism or, I'm having a brain fart, socialism, that's it, is a better option than capitalism. I'm a capitalist. Not all capitalism is good, but you want something? You have something that the other guy wants. Instead of bartering, you just pay a fixed price or a price that's agreed upon, and boom. Free market capitalism is a good option until we find something better. Marxism will never work. It can never work. It has failed many times. Look no further than North Korea. North Korea started out better than South Korea. More citizens, better economical state, more technology. They were a good area, while the South was... The best way I would explain it is North Korea and South Korea was very much how the U.S. was before the Civil War. North superior in technology, South was far less developed. Yet look now. The North can say all it fucking wants. All you need to do is have one satellite image of night to go, ooh. North Korea is dark. South Korea has light. Another beautiful example is what happened with the Berlin Wall. Capitalism was on one side, Marxism was on the other. The very existence of it tells you Marxism fucking sucks. It was built by the Marxists to prevent their own people from running across to get to the families in the better area. It kept getting upgraded because people were continuing to jump barbed wire, climb fences, even risk their lives to get over there because Marxism sucked. I'm sorry, it sounds wonderful on paper, but in practice, it fucking sucks. It does. Sorry. Can we learn anything from it? We can learn what not to do. Look, I personally like the concept of a post-scarcity systems, meaning there's enough to go around, everyone has enough. Okay, then what's wrong with Marxism? One, the government will never be happy with what they have. They always want more. Taking more and keeping for themselves. One for you, one for me, one for me, one for me, one for you, one for me, one for me, one for me. And just constantly giving to their friends and taking more. Literally the image before from the past where regular citizens are in ramshackle homes built literally connecting to each other with plywood with a big wall built keeping them on one side, and all the government officials have million-dollar mansions with enough for entire stadiums to be in their area for just them. Screams what will happen to us. we're having issues right now because so many are actually investing in Marxism instead of trying to refine capitalism. Yeah, capitalism isn't perfect. It has its flaws. But the side is one that keeps messing up. And they will never admit it because they don't want to admit that they fucked up. Sorry. I personally prefer post-scarcity because then there's enough to go around. Oh, and another reason why Marxism never works, when you tell people that they don't have to work for what they want, they won't. They'll just keep expecting more and more and more when they haven't earned it. What do I mean haven't earned it? When they feel free that they can just sit around and not have to work, yet still get plenty of food, clothes, free apartments, and free! The kind of thing Democrats are pushing right now. It means someone will always just be like, oh, we don't have to work. But most don't recognize a very scary fact. For one person to not have to work and get all that stuff, someone else would have had to have worked that hard and not gotten it. Do you want to work that much harder and still not get anything? Yes? No? No? Oh, that's weird. It's almost as if it's common sense. One thing the right did explain to me when I learned what libertarian was is everyone deserves the sweat from their own brow. If you work for something and you're smart, you should get it. No one should be able to prevent you from having that. Does that mean I agree with everything that libertarians do? I think my own party is an idiot, even at the best of times. Okay. I'm just trying to get my thoughts out in a recognizable state. I don't want those on either side to be harmed. I'm tired of this political atmosphere right now. Yeah, don't like Trump. I don't like him myself. But at least I can recognize he is trying. Look, I voted for Obama in his first term because, oh look, black man, this will solve everything. When he got elected, I smiled and watched. And watched, and oh dear Lord. I realized he probably wasn't the best option. So I voted for Ron Paul, a fellow libertarian, fully thinking, oh, after a few years, he would have had a chance to review, well, not Ron Paul, but Brock would have had enough time to sit back, refine his craft, and get better. And then in 4 years, he would have made a wonderful comeback. Done so much. And then elect my head. I am fine if my candidate don't win. It's not a all or nothing. Everyone should be fine as long as people voted fairly. I literally saw them cut off what they were about to say about Ron Paul and heard the people in that were at the controls laugh about they turned off the sound equipment so no one could hear how much Ron Paul got in terms of votes. Like, so we got stuck with President Obama for another 4 years. I don't honestly give two F's what skin color you are. I don't care what your ethnicity is. All that should matter is, can you do the job well? I'd love if there's a female president in my lifetime, but they have to be worthy of that position, just like any white guy has to be worthy of the position for me to vote for them. So after the last 4 years of President Obama, that's official at least, I had a very painful choice. Hillary Clinton or Donald J. Trump. And Trump's personality will always piss me the fuck off. But unfortunately, Hillary was not that much better. Both of them large egos, and despite Hillary literally being former first lady, she was not exactly a wonderful candidate either. Do I have a problem with women being present? I honestly look forward to one being shown up that I would happily vote for. But Hillary, she shot herself in both knees, both arms, both elbows, and then stuck the gun underneath her chin and boom! With one phrase. Up until this point, it was a toss up. Both sides trading, like, do I really have to vote every week or so? Until Hillary literally said a basket full of deplorables for anyone that was even considering Trump, which I was leaning towards that one week. Like, that's half the nation. If someone on the right says the same thing, literally hating on half the country just because they were thinking about voting for someone that wasn't them, they would deserve to be thrown out of office. But, and I continue. That pretty much sealed Hillary's fate, as well, along with the fact that none of her choices did very well. She got a lot of options to prove herself politically, from Bill, I did not have sex with that woman Clinton while she was First Lady. The, don't know what was it, the, there was a, I'm trying to remember the place's name. There was a compound of religious insane dudes down in, basically, while she was in, the person she selected to run the FBI or something found a code that was keeping everyone in a small compound. It was on all the big names. I'm blanking on the name real bad. Right after this, I'm gonna remember it. Watch. But that person botched so badly. We still don't know who shot first, either the government side or the religious side, but suddenly a lot of weapons fire boomed off after one random shot, and the place caught fire. Total loss.
Virginia, here's one 600 feet high. Radio waves over ocean waves.
I'm coming right back to my place.
Tonight we're although no giant, has
Hmm.
nevertheless made a huge impression in his chosen field. Ladies and gentlemen,
Started out a dream, living in the virtual stream. Rubber ducks floating delight.
Oh, it's a mouse.
Chilling my digital realm.
Noted. But
My reside is Steve.
I kept watching just in case the orange man would make a mistake later. And I'm very happy to say, if he did make something that somehow topped what Hillary just said, or something that was worthy of further disdain, probably would have voted the other way. Because, again, neither side is owed my loyalty. They have to prove themselves to me before I consider it. Hillary never managed to overtake him again. And I watched her for what? 12 years now? Just continue to be more and more salty. Seriously, girl, just find a different job. So yeah, I voted for Trump back in when it was against Hillary. Which I... Okay, let's move on from there. From there, we move on to Donald versus Joe. And here's another one that's just... Ugh, I hate... On one side, I will always call Trump the Great Orange Cheese Puff as a nickname because, lo and behold, orange skin, fat, and If you have too much of it, you will feel sick to your stomach. On this side, Rice Cake Man, which will put you on a diet because everything's too expensive, and you just wince when you see it. It's like, really? Do I have to have this? And I carefully watched Biden because, oh, maybe I can vote for someone else. I watched as he showed more and more senility, more and more mental decline he's showing, and long breaks between the appearances. Others others rallying for him, but never him most of the time. I was watching, hoping, oh, that's not something someone with Alzheimer's or some kind of mental decline would do. He would suddenly start a subject, and right when you, and then over here, just breaking the sentence. Each time like a slap in the face, like, ooh. Trump was still talking the exact same way he has, standing the exact same way. He had grayer hair, but the government economy wasn't perfect, but it was a bit better. There are definitely will always be complaints, but lo and behold, things weren't too bad. He had created peace. The Abrahamic Accords were doing decent. Were there complaints? There will always be complaints about whoever's in charge, even if I voted for them with 100% enthusiasm, because they are employees, not management. That's one thing that Joe Biden himself would later say that I will fundamentally call him out for. Our government was founded for the people, by the people. We, the citizens, rule this nation, not the politicians. If politicians ruled, we would not have left the British government. Period. Okay then, why did I vote the way I did? Was it because I thought Trump would do better? No, I still do not like Trump. He is like a toothache that you just can't quite get rid of. The other side might be worse at times, but in this case it was not that. What was worse is I literally work with in a retirement facility. I've seen how quicker those who are in some kind of mental decline get. So many died during the pandemic. I saw the political left screwing over Trump because, oh, you need help? Well, you have to do this. And that thing turned out to be bullshit. I couldn't vote for Joe because I knew each year he spent in there would be several years less he would have outside. He would lose his health, even with the best of circumstances. And from what I've heard, it's far worse than that even I feared. I voted against Joe Biden because I want him to live a fuller life, longer life with his kids and grandkids. Note that he didn't go after Hillary when he won. That is a tradition. You do not go after your political opponents because eventually that will come back around to you and you will get arrested by your own political opponents because you tried to get them arrested too. Oh, look, prediction. Yeah, I still think that the 2020 elections were stolen because, lo and behold, when the polling finally got in, the voting, suddenly, ooh, look at this huge spike up for Joe overnight. That shouldn't have happened. Fewer and fewer thinks that. Am I gonna complain that he was president? Y'all put him through hell. Y'all will have to suffer that wherever we all end up one day, knowing that you literally punished someone who was geriatric. Turns out he would later on get two different kinds of cancers and go from being able to attend every meeting to suddenly having to sleep off because he was asleep and everyone having his presidential meetings without him. I fucking hate it. I was right. And then Kamala, the latest one. Yeah, I voted for Trump over Kamala because Kamala would have been worse than Joe. Joe won the Democratic nominee. He was supposed to go up against Trump again. But Joe was declining so fast they went, okay, we can't give back the money. Well, we can't put up someone else because then we'd have to give back the donations to Joe. But if we let in this person, we won't have to give back the donations. But Joe's technically supposed to be the president-elect again. How do we do this? Oh, just have Joe step down and hand over the campaign to Kamala. She deserved to lose for being so bad. I'm sorry. She ran a bad campaign. Not only did she shoot herself in the foot by not... Well, every step she made, she screwed up worse. Heck, one of the biggest flaws is she nervously laughs. Think of politics like a gambling game. You should never let your opponents know your tail. And within 1 week I knew exactly where tail was. And if I knew someone who can't pick up social cues, everyone else across the nation, across the world knew its secret. And would be able to run roughshod over the nation because of that. Am I happy about that? I'd love if I was wrong. But I really hope the left gives us a better candidate than just Trump for 3 years in a row. What do you mean Trump's been a Democrat? He has not changed. Look back to what the Democrats stood for back in the 90s. Trump is a 90s era Democrat through and through, and that is a good thing. A little bit of conservatism. Because sometimes conserving what works still. Should we still progress? Move forward? Of course. Holy. I like this little ducky. Hey, it's Roger Cold, what do you know? But, let's see. To me, Trump is a Democrat. I'm happy to vote for either side as long as they are the best possible candidate. And I will always want for something better because America deserves better each time. Will I always agree with them? No. I'd love if there's a female candidate that I can vote for in my lifetime. It's just that the previous two were hard garbage. And they weren't even the first. They're, I think back in the early 1900s or 1800s, there were a few female candidates. Well, that were fundamentally better. Have we improved since then in our treatment of others? Yeah, I hope so at least. But I'm an egalitarian. Equal treatment. Yeah, you should still show each other respect, but that's likely not about to happen until both sides get a good old head, or get their heads banged together, because both sides are being idiots. Still. Okay then, What's my final message? Instead of saying a final message, I'm gonna say this. My intention, my retirement plan, in case retirement fails, is this. A hobby store where Fiora the Tank Girl, uh, Diamondia Doodle, and many others on both sides can work and enjoy life. Place where people can go buy model kits, paints, hobby supplies. That'll be the front. Further back, a place to paint your kits. Diamondia's purpose would be, oh, here's a computer where you can create STLs for people to, and several 3D printers so you can print stuff off at your leisure with proper equipment so your allergies won't be triggered. You can, and she would keep half the profits from anything that's made in that section, making sure she has enough to live off of. Further behind that would be a section where people can scan in their model kits in game with them. That one part is for the tank girl to be in charge of, as a VTuber or gamer that's in charge. She deserves to be in, have fun.
When kids are hungry, it's always Maggie. So fast to cook.
Of course, there will also be a small area off to the side where every so often someone who has something to build that is an employee can sit next to the cash register, but not at the register itself, and build. That way people who see it go, oh, that looks like a fun kit, I'll go ahead and buy that. Thus driving up sales. To me, what we need most in this country is respecting one another. Not just our opinions, but just flat out respecting one another. Do I agree with everything the life says? No. But I respect their right to say it and live their lives. It might sometimes backfire on them, but they deserve to have that choice. Same for the rights. I might not agree with everything they do, but I will still back them because they should have the right to say it. I always try to help anyone that's working because, lo and behold, sometimes a job sucks and just that little bit of kindness breaks the monotony and pain of the day and they can have a good time. I make sure to return carts to the enclosure so that they're not stuck all over or being a total pain in the butt. You never know where someone's first job is. My first one is a glorified janitor at a retirement home. But here's something for those who actually paid attention, specifically for Fiora the Tank Girl and Miss Diamondia Doodle. I would like to talk to either of you in voice for a little bit and detail something that I'm pretty sure Miss Diamondia herself at least would love to hear about. Spooky things just in time for Halloween, and I'll be completely genuine. But that's that. Time to end the recording. Have a great day, one and all. Be safe.